The so-called state capture, it is only state capture when the state is captured by those we dislike. This is what Koko Oprimashikwe said. Listen to him on this clip, guys.
It depends on who has captured the state.
Yeah.
If the state is captured by men in suits and ties, we don't have a problem. And that is why some forms of state capture, such as what the Madlanga Commission is dealing with now, are not palatable. And other forms of state capture are palatable. So you can say, during the period of Zuma's presidency, South Africa was in the middle of state capture. Before Zuma's presidency, before 2009, there was no state capture. Since Zuma left the union buildings, there has been no state capture. There's nothing more nonsensical than that. So the idea that there was no state capture before 2009 is nonsensical. And the idea that there has been no state capture after 2018 is nonsensical. What the Madlanga Commission is showing us is a particular form of state capture which happened after Zuma left the union buildings.
When you talk about how high this goes, we've heard the presidency and the president's name being mentioned almost every day of this commission.
Yes.
The real question there are three big questions about the president. Let me start with number one, which is, what did he know about the disbandment of this political killings task team? Now, Mkhwanazi has testified that he rushed to Masemola, who was on holiday, to say, please check with the president if he endorses this decision to disband the task team. And Mkhwanazi basically said, the National Police Commissioner never got back to me. Now, recently, Masemola in his testimony said, I did speak to the president about this, and he seemed shocked and that this would be disbanded, this task team. And he said he would speak to the minister. But it all goes a bit fuzzy after that because we never know exactly what he said to the minister. What do you make of the president's emerging role in this commission as a key role player?
Well, let me declare another bias. And the reason I must declare my bias is so that those who are watching, when they listen to what I'm saying and they do so critically, they listen to it against the backdrop of my bias.
Sure.
Because there is an extent to which those who are watching are duty bound to call me out.
Absolutely.
And you too, when you realize during the course of this conversation that my analysis is being colored by my bias, you can call me out too. And if I realize that actually a certain point I'm making is colored by my bias, I will concede. Now, let me declare my bias. It's a well-known bias. I don't rate Cyril Ramaphosa highly. And at the best of time, I don't believe what he says. And the view I have of him is that if 10 people have a dispute and they go to Cyril Ramaphosa for dispute resolution, all of them, the 10 who are in dispute, will come out believing Ramaphosa sided with them. So, yes, Mkhwanazi says, I asked Masemola to talk to the president. Masemola says, yes, I spoke to the president. And the president seemed disturbed by the fact that Mkhunu wanted to disband the PKTT immediately. But I think today, you can correct me if I misremember. I think today Masemola says, according to Mkhunu, the president approved.
He did say that.
Of the disbandment.
Which is a massive statement. What do you make of that statement from Masemola, that at least Mkhunu told him, being Masemola, that the president was on board with this?
Well, the possibility is that Mkhunu lied to Masemola. Another possibility is that the president lied to Masemola.
Or both.
Or, yes, or both.
Yeah.
But the versions given by Masemola in relation to his interactions with the president and what Mkhunu says about the president are not inconsistent with what I believe about him. That, as I said, if 10 people are in a dispute and they need him to mediate, they'll come out of the mediation believing he sided with all of them.
All right, guys, you've just listened to one of the prominent political analysts, Gogo Oprimashi. Here is talking about something that some of us, especially I can say personally, I've been raising for the number of years, since the days of that Thuli Madonsela's report, which of course instructed that the then president at the time, which was Jacob Zuma, need to establish a commission for the so-called state capture. And we've been saying that one of the biggest scams that has ever fallen South Africa, but let me be specific, that has ever fallen black people, it is to make people believe that there's such a thing such as state capture, whereby corruption was dressed as so-called state capture. And we've been pointing that at the ideological and even intellectual level, the so-called state capture cannot stand. The argument for state capture, the so-called state capture, cannot hold because the state, since its inception, the state itself, because the state, for those who don't know or don't understand what the state is a committee for managing the common affairs of the bourgeois class. And by the bourgeois class, we're referring to the capitalist class, the ruling class. And this is another confusion that needs to be cleared, so that people don't think that when we're talking about the ruling class, they don't think that we're talking about the political elites. No, the political elites are just managers of the system. The political elites are managing the system on behalf of the ruling class. The ruling class is the capitalist class. In South Africa, that capitalist class, it is represented by the Oppenheimers, the Kosbekers of this world, the Ruperts of this world. It is the white monopoly capital. Capital in South Africa has a face and has color. The face of capital in South Africa is white. Okay? So at no stage in any human development has the state ever been independent. So the state has always been captured. So what Gogo Oprimashi is raising is that it only becomes a state capture. There is following the narrative of the mainstream media. It only becomes the state capture when it is done by those we do not like. When it is done by the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers and stuff, then we are told it's not state capture. But the minute there's other forces who are contending for that state, then all of a sudden we are told it's state capture. So the so-called state capture is the biggest scam that has ever befallen black people in this country. And it is quite disappointing that black people have fallen to it. And of course, we've got black people like the South African Communist Party under the leadership of the Blade Nzimandes and the Solly Mapailas, because they are one of the people who were supposed to provide ideological clarity. I've never heard of such lousy ideological articulation from people who call themselves communist, because they are the ones of the people who came out. They are the one of the people who came up with this nonsense of the so-called state capture. So thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Tebus Kosana. Remember to join, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much.